Hello Bloomington, I'm Mayor Tim Busse, and this is the Council Minute for the week of May 20th. On Monday night, the City Council took the next steps in the ongoing effort to improve safety and livability throughout the city by slowing drivers down in neighborhoods and on arterial streets. You've heard me say before that people driving too fast is the most common concern I hear from Bloomington residents. Other council members say they hear the same concern from residents. People driving too fast is a public safety issue. It's a quality of life issue, and it's a common courtesy issue. We need people to slow down. This has been an ongoing discussion, and staff has done a very nice job of moving things along and also ensuring that Bloomington residents have plenty of opportunities to engage on this. On Monday night, the agenda included 3 separate items on this topic. The first item was a series of changes to the city code to ensure that the city code lines up with state statute. The changes do just that, and it also gives the city the authority to establish speed limits and the authority to establish an official speed limit map. It's also important to note that the changes allow the city to establish 20-mile-per-hour school zones on city roads, and to also establish school zones on county roads with the permission of Hennepin County. In earlier discussions on this, the council was pretty adamant about the need for school zones and reduced speeds. There are 24 public school facilities and 9 or more private or charter schools in the city, and staff agreed that establishing school zones is important. In fact, staff told the council that 3 specific areas were deemed to be the highest priority, and that they'd be working to have the school zones in place in those locations in time for the start of school in the fall. Those areas are along 102nd Street by Jefferson and Olson Elementary and Middle Schools, on 106th Street by Oak Grove Elementary and Middle, and on 84th Street by Poplar Bridge Elementary. Be on the lookout for changes in those areas. The second agenda item was the approval of an official speed limit map that I mentioned earlier. As you can see from the map, there will continue to be a variety of speed limits in the city. The city obviously isn't allowed to change speed limits on the freeways or on county roads, and staff used discretion and some good common sense to establish appropriate speed limits throughout the city. The next steps will be to add or modify about 400 speed limit signs and to bring on a consultant to help with public outreach and awareness strategies. And the final agenda item was the approval of a budget for this work and the allocation of funds. The 2 big budget items are the cost of signs and the associated staff hours to install them, and 2 additional speed trailers that will give Bloomington Police additional tools for awareness of the new speed limits. The council approved $296,000 from the Strategic Priorities Fund to cover the costs. Ultimately, we know that simply changing the speed limits and adding signs won't change driver behavior. We also know that simply writing more tickets isn't the answer either. It's going to take a combination of efforts, from enforcement to education to changing the environment, all those things and probably more to get the attention of drivers, and to create a culture that says here in Bloomington, we don't speed. The good news around economic growth and development in Bloomington continues. This week I was honored to take part in the groundbreaking for the Phase 2 development at the North American headquarters for SICK. I've talked about SICK in the past, and I'm sure you've seen their production facility on American Boulevard just to the east of Mall of America. As quick background, SICK is a German company named after their founder, Edwin Sick, and they design, build, and sell intelligent sensors and related products that are used by businesses around the world. They've had space in Bloomington since 1997 and other locations in the Twin Cities as well, but back in 2018, they were looking to consolidate and bring everything together into a North American headquarters campus. After a nationwide search, they ultimately chose the South Loop in Bloomington, and I'm very happy they did. Like many businesses, SICK chose Bloomington because of our central location, the proximity to the airport and transit, and the willingness of the city and the Port Authority to work with them and create a path forward. That impressive looking building with the big blue sign that you can see from 494 is SICK's logistics and production facility. The groundbreaking this week was on Phase 2, which includes a 4-story office building. The work will also include a new parking ramp that the Bloomington Port Authority will build and own. The Port Authority will lease the ramp to SICK during business hours, and those parking spaces will be available for public parking outside of business hours and on weekends. Between the production facility and now the office building, SICK is bringing a lot of good, high-paying jobs to Bloomington. I talked last week about the $500 million expansion almost right next door at Polar Semiconductor that will add 160 high-tech jobs. I also talked about the 300 jobs that will be coming to the South Loop when the planning and architectural firm TKDA moves to Bloomington from St. Paul. When you consider those developments, along with all of the construction jobs that will be part of these projects and potentially the water park at Mall of America, that's a lot of economic development in Bloomington. And it's happening in an area that Bloomington staff and elected officials specifically targeted years ago. A lot of time and planning and investment has gone into making this area in Bloomington a place where people and businesses want to be. It's great to see that plan come together so successfully. And finally today, this weekend, we celebrate Memorial Day. I'm sure you all have plenty of fun things planned to kick off summer, but I hope you'll take some time on Monday morning to enjoy a little community building and to pause and reflect on the significance of the day. Once again this year, the good men and women at the Everett McClay VFW Post 1296 and the Bloomington American Legion Post 550 are organizing a Memorial Day parade. The parade starts Monday morning at 9 a.m. at 94th and Lyndale. The parade route travels south on Lyndale and ends at the Bloomington Cemetery, where there will be a short ceremony of remembrance. It's always a very nice event, and I'm frankly always a bit surprised and disappointed that more people don't turn out. If you're able, and if the weather holds like it's supposed to, come on out. I know you'll enjoy it. That will do it for this week's Council Minute. Thanks so very much for joining me today. Until next time, stay safe, Bloomington.